June is not dull if you're a college football fan and not if you're a Florida State fan. So much recruiting going on. We're going to run through it for the next hour with, of course, Jason Parker, NBC6, Logan Robinson, who's leaving the screen right now from Noel Game Day right here at the Voice of College Football, Florida State. And we hope everybody's been able to swing on over from the main channel and make this the destination every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Florida State Seminoles live for a 110th time, Jason.
I'm just trying to figure out where you are. You're coming to us somewhere live. I don't know if you want to tell the viewers. Where are you? Where are we looking at you live from this week?
I'm at Mom's house on the back deck here.
Hey, Mom.
Yes. Mom's here. Yeah, well, she's not out here. She's inside. It's actually pretty balmy for Ohio. It's like low 90s.
Well, you're looking at us live. Logan's with us. And stay tuned because we will get a chance to call Logan out for his lies in the DM that he sent as we prepared for the show. So stay tuned for that. But first off, I do want to give a mazel tov, the first mazel tov of the night, to this man right here. Oh, this man right here. Because for those of you who follow MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football, on social media, aside from his political stuff and whatever, but his football knowledge is great. He's got great football stuff. Mark, you posted something from, of all places, the U.S. Patent Office. Would you care to explain what the hell that was?
I have been officially recognized as the voice of college football, so we have it trademarked. It was a struggle, I tell you. Let me tell you one quick story from that. So I put in for the patent for the trademark logo last March 2020. Mm-hmm. I will tell you one quick story that kind of resonates when things just work out right. So I'm not throwing LegalZoom under the bus in any such way because, in a sense, I felt as though they kind of did because it was my impression from hiring them and throwing them a pretty large chunk of money that they would take me through the entire process. But at some point, they kind of drop you off. Okay. And then your name must be in some kind of database because you just get inundated with law firms saying, we'll pick up your case, and throwing you all sorts of dollar figures, and you don't know if you can trust these people. So I could not find a trademark lawyer to bring me through the rest of the process. I was 5 days away from having my application terminated because it was going to hit the deadline. I am talking to the guy who is the web developer for my website, Voice of College Football, and he's just talking about the logo and everything. And I just kind of made this offhanded remark like, yeah, I don't really know if that logo is going to mean a whole lot because I'm having problems with my trademark. He goes, well, my wife's a trademark lawyer. And I went, this is like 3 days before it's going to expire. His wife's a trademark lawyer. I couldn't find one. Hooks me up with her. She doesn't charge me a penny. It's all taken care of. Beautiful.
So does this mean we officially have to call you from this point on? When we say Mark Rogers, we have to say MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football.
I believe you do.
Damn.
You got into practice with that, Jason, a long time ago. That shouldn't be a problem for you.
So it should be. But Logan's special guest from Logan, from the Mean Streets of Tallahassee, Logan's cat with us. Logan, are you and your cat going to be watching FSU softball, hopefully winning their second national title tonight? Logan, we can't hear you.
I need to unmute myself there. That would probably help. But yeah, me and Gilly here. She's going to show her face immediately once we start. But we will definitely be watching softball tonight. If they get this win, it's been an incredible run for them the last this whole College World Series for them. But these last couple of games, going through Alabama twice and then last night, best team with Oklahoma. I mean, it's been an incredible run. So that's at 7 o'clock. So I'm excited to watch that.
Shout out to the Lady Knowles for doing that. I mean, Mark's former employer, the worldwide leader, apparently they think that FSU just learned how to play softball. They forgot we won a national title in 2018. So shout out to the people at ESPN who aren't giving us any credit. So why not win it tonight? So let's do it, ladies. Do the damn thing. Mm-hmm. Plus, here's your spoiler alert. Did you know that Miami has not won a national title in a team sport in 20 years?
Oh, damn.
They have not won. Florida State has won 8 national titles, won 7. If they win tonight, that'd be their 8th national title since Miami won their last one.
Ooh, Lordy.
Yes.
That is not good. Not pretty. Not pretty.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
We topped over 130 on the line last week, so I would like to see those kind of numbers and even more coming into the fold as we're going through the recruiting, heading toward August camp. A lot of great things to talk about. And Jason apparently has something else to give us.
I'm going to let you set this one up, Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, because you are more diplomatic. I look at Logan like a younger brother, somebody who you fought with, you put his head in a dish once in a while just to let him know who was your brother. I know it was. I know. I went deep there. I know. I went deep. Mark, just move on from it. Let's move on from this moment. So I'm going to give this to you because let's talk about speaking about horrible takes. Logan made one on May 20th, and we're going to give him a chance to retract from right here. So Mark, take it away.
A terrible take.
Are we really going to lead with this? Possible feud between you and Logan over the biggest recruiting couple weekends that we've had in forever?
I love Logan to death. I think Noel Game Day is an amazing outlet. I think he's doing amazing things. I think he's doing phenomenal things. I just feel that in the past 110 episodes, when I have done a hot take that has turned out wrong, both of you have wasted no time coming after me, so I figure we're going to give Logan a chance to retract his previous statement. That's all we're saying. Retract time with Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.
Okay, Jason, even though I would take the neutral ground and set this up a certain way, I really think that you need to take this away because I'm probably not going to set it up in the manner in which you would find it worthy of the conflict here.
Logan, there's a certain offensive lineman that was transferred from Marshall. I believe it's Cade Madden. I believe that's his name. I mean, he doesn't matter to us anymore. But who has decided to go to Notre Dame? He came down from Florida State. He came down on June 1st, took a tour of the campus, then went up to South Bend and decided to transfer to Notre Dame. Now, Logan, on May 20th, you said, and I quote, this was a must-get for Florida State, must-get for the offensive line position, big-time recruit Florida State must-get. Today, when you hit us in the DM, you said never wanted him, didn't want him. So I'm hoping that you were just BSing us. That's what I'm hoping. You were just BSing myself.
I promise.
Give me the voice of college football. But here's your chance to retract your statement and throw some hate at the Fighting Irish. Go.
I promise you I was indeed messing with you, Jason. I don't think I would be saying we don't want him to a guy that would be the best offensive lineman Florida State has had in over 5, maybe years. But to name one, give me one. Give me one. Give me one.
In the last 5 years. In the last 5 years.
Juan Williams? Juan Williams?
Wait, in the last 5 seasons,
I need one.
Virginia, Alec Elberly. He was probably the best one we've had.
This guy's a second-team All-American.
Yeah.
He's from Warrick. We are neutral.
Eberle wasn't the prettiest there at the ending of his career, but we do appreciate his tweets that he had. Anyways, going back to Kane Madden, a lot of outlets were really optimistic at Florida State. I think at the time was the leader for him. And then what happens, I think couple days after I was talking about him, Notre Dame swoops in. Brian Kelly does his thing. They've shown success in getting guys in the NFL on the offensive line. Obviously, a very successful unit up front. They came in, swooped in, and kind of ruined the party for Florida State. The whole fan base was giving a lot of love to him and showing how much it would mean for him to come to FSU. The staff was showing a lot of love. From what I heard, the visit went great. It went excellent. It went as the best that they could have done. But right now, Florida State isn't in that department to really advertise getting guys to the league, or he was going to get all the playing time he wanted, but he can go to Notre Dame, and you kind of have that. I guess you could say not even maybe better coach at the time or what's happening right now, but that has a little bit more respect on it than Florida State right now. Obviously, nationally everybody talks about how awful Florida State's offensive line is. So Notre Dame's is a quick, easy fit for him to get straight to the league. He was going to go either way, but Notre Dame swooped in late and kind of ruined Florida State's party, and it stinks like that. But I think Florida State, unless someone else sparks their eye or whatnot, I think Florida State kind of feels pretty fine. I think they'd still like a tackle, but it's just going to have to play the waiting game and see now.
Now, who else? You talked about that a little bit, but who is out there that maybe, whether it's the transfer or whatnot, who else you've seen, who else you're hearing about that is either looking to last year or Florida State should go after?
Right now, I'm still waiting. I'm still playing the waiting game. There's a few names that people have been talking about, but they're not. I don't think we would have heard a lot more if FSU was heavily going after them. There's a few in some lower class divisions that there's kind of been some follow backs here and there, but nothing to that extent of there's mass, considerations of coming in and they needing someone right away to come. It stinks. You had such a good play with getting Matt in there, and it just fell apart. Florida State, I do think, was the leader for him at one point, and Brian Kelly ruined it. And then I love Brian Kelly's quote of saying that, sometimes you don't need, in recruiting, you don't need flashy cars and whips to gain transfers or recruits or whatever. But meanwhile, he's, killing his own players. So,
right.
Sorry, yeah.
Losing to Clemson and Alabama to end the season,
He kills it with players. I got to give him that. He does kill it with players. So
he's been killing it for what? 11 seasons now. 11 seasons.
Yeah, he's been killing it. So,
Mark, can you go back to Ocala Kane's comment for just one moment, please? Well, listen, you guys can say what you want to about me. You can say what you want to about Logan. You can say what you want to about MarkRogersTV, the Western College Football. Do not talk ill of Renegade. Renegade is an American icon. You will not talk ill of Renegade on this channel. Thank you.
No.
I take Renegade seriously. I'm sorry.
Yes. That would certainly be my go-to in regards to the unapproachable, the just off limits. Definitely. All right, we're going to talk recruiting at some point. We're 12 minutes into this show, and that's the most important thing going on. So 51 on the line. Florida State Seminoles live. Logan Robinson, Noel Game Day, of course. Track him on over there. Of course, on Twitter. Got to get there. Got to check out everything that they've got going on there. Jason Parker, NBC6. All right. Of course, like the video. Share these video links out there on social media. Get them out there. And let's build up this audience as we go forward. Whatever happened last week, let's keep it going. We got up to over 130. Let's keep that going. So everybody that enjoys what we're doing here, tell other people.
You got to toss it better than that. Here you go. I'm going to give a toss. I'm going to give you this one, Logan. This one's for you. This is birthday present, early Christmas present, early Hanukkah present. I'm going to make myself sick saying this. Logan, what's going on in the Discord when it comes to recruiting news?
What's going on in the Discord? Everything right now, Jason, is going on. I mean, it is just blowing up out of proportions. Midnight Madness was fun. We actually covered it live inside there for our listeners and the members in there, and it's been a lot of fun. We've been watching the softball game all together, chatting in there. It was crazy last night, but really right now it's a lot about recruiting with Mike Norvell, which we're going to keep on talking about. But with Mike Norvell and these camps that he's doing, the mega camps, 7-on-7 camps, that have both two big camps today, 7-on-7 and the big man camp. A little bit about the mega camp too, just a little bit ago, and then also Midnight Madness that whole week with Travis Hunter being in town that whole week. And I don't know if he's left to go home yet. I really don't know. But it's all in on recruiting for the next couple of months.
Talk a little bit more about that mega camp. Obviously, that was a huge camp.
Yeah.
You had schools from all over the country, converging upon Tallahassee, converging upon the practice fields, huge event going on. Talk about what you saw and how much is that going to help Florida State's recruiting coming up for the class of 22 and beyond?
I think it's good to kind of just remind people and, definitely the state of Florida that Florida State's still here. I think the last 5 years or so, it's kind of slimmed down a little bit. There hasn't been a lot of talk about FSU. It makes sense. The records haven't been pretty. The play on the field hasn't even been fun to watch, even for FSU fans that like to keep updated with everything. But bringing all of these kids, over 3,000 kids, over to by the rec fields right across from College Town. They get to see the stadium, and they're also doing stuff inside Doak. They're on the practice fields at the Dunlap's field inside the IPF too. It's just huge to kind of get a lot of these younger recruits, even some elite guys that were also in attendance, to come and be there and be around the staff, work hard. And I think it's just a main thing to kind of remind you of Florida State is here. That's what Mike Norvell is trying to do. And he's trying to network. I think he's a big networking guy, and he's got a lot of the Seminoles coming over to help coach some of these. I know Carlos Williams was there. Our guy Carlos was there earlier today. He was mainly there for his cousin, but a lot of these guys are coming in attendance and helping out, or at least going to do some things with some of the coaches, and even the current players are helping out. So it's just another way to kind of keep things rolling. There's not really a stale period that I've seen since the season's ended that Mike Norvell isn't sitting around, just twiddling his thumbs. I think it's been a pretty big success, and still got a long ways to go, though.
Ronan, if you're going to bash us, at least give us your 1378, please. We'd appreciate it. If you're going to bash our horse, bash our mascot, everything, please at least give us your 1378. That's all we're asking. Give it to Mark. What's that?
He said the channel must be doing good because he did eventually find us. I haven't seen him in a little bit.
Mazel tov. Thank you, Ronan. It must be early over there in Scotland.
Now, Georgia Ron, I get it. You can recruit out of your minds, and if you don't win the games on the field, it doesn't matter. But you have to recruit. That precedes the winning. You've got to go out and recruit. So it does matter. Yes, if you continue to recruit out of your mind and it never pays off on the field, yes, it's not going to matter. But Mike Norvell took over close to a dumpster fire, and he's just trying to build it up to a certain point. So he's got to recruit first before he can win the games.
MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Watch it. Watch your comments.
Don't talk too much about Willie.
It's still our dumpster fire. We're still loyal to this dumpster fire over here. I think Georgia.
I said close to a dumpster fire. I held back.
Hey, I think Georgia Ron's point, though, in a little bit, and I'm going to throw a little shade at Logan, just a tad, but I'm not entirely meaning to throw Logan under the bus on this one. But we do this a lot here. I'm guilty of it. Logan's guilty of it, where we get hyped up about recruits when they commit, when they put Florida State in their top group. But things can change. And Logan, to his credit, and James has also said this too, James Coleman, if he ever comes back to us here, has made it very clear. It's nothing until they sign a piece of paper. So we can sit there, we've got a great recruiting class for the class of 2022. What happens if this program goes 6-6 this season or worse, which we need to realize could possibly happen? Do those recruits stick around? I think Travis Hunter sticks around, but do a lot of these recruits, big-name recruits, stick around? That's why it's so easy to get hyped and then so easy to get disappointed when Sam Howell leaves to go to North Carolina, when a recruit decommits from FSU and goes to Miami or goes to Maryland or goes somewhere like that. That's what I think Georgia Ron is saying right there. And Logan has said this before. If Florida State is entering the Clemson game 8 of the season, with a 3-4 record or a 4-3 record with Clemson, NC State, Miami, Boston College, and Florida left on the schedule, all games that Florida State could easily lose. I don't think they will, but those Florida State could lose all 5 of those games. That's where the trouble comes in. That's why Florida State has to stockpile those wins so early in the season.
Jason, you, on a regular basis, will throw out win totals and say, I need to see this kind of progress. I need to see whatever you've said in the past. I don't know if it was 7-5, something in that range, and then said this will be a disappointment, this will be an achievement, etc. What if they don't meet your win standard this year, but he brings in a top 10 recruiting class and signs it? That's, finalized.
I'll say this. I'm hesitant with recruiting classes because not so much during the Willie Taggart almost dumpster fire years, to use your term, but in 2017, Jimbo Fisher's last season before he abandoned ship was the top recruiting class in the ACC, was a top 10 recruiting class. And that team went 6-6 in the regular season. So it has happened. To me, you can bring in all these great recruiting classes and it doesn't mean anything. That's why I'm hesitant. I think that we've got a good group of guys coming in. I think if this class stays together, I think Travis Hunter has the potential to be a very good recruit. A couple of the kids from the Lakeland area that we're getting. We've got some kids from South Florida who are still committed to the group. I think we'll be fine. It is just there has to be the hesitation. I feel like you have to see some turnaround. I'm not saying this team has to go 10-2 or 9-3, but give me a 7-5. Give me a 7-5 as a good start after going 3-6. I would love us to go 9-3, but I think 7-5 is a more realistic goal.
The recruiting class does matter, though.
It matters.
It matters a lot.
But look at that 2017 class, and look what that 2017
I know, there are outliers.
1920.
Yes, Texas is an outlier. Wisconsin's an outlier. Texas has been bringing in top 5 to 10 recruiting classes for the last 10 or 11 years and have done nothing with them but go 7-5 every year. Wisconsin brings in top 40 recruiting classes, and they almost finish in the top 10 to 15 every year in the nation. Those are the outliers. But generally, the recruiting rankings matter a lot.
I think mainly for this upcoming season, it's gigantic. Definitely, we've talked about. I think we did last week a little bit about the first game against Notre Dame and how I think that it needs to be competitive heading into the fourth quarter for a lot of these guys. Even like a guy that's committed still, Sean McCall, who is, Alabama's heavily after. A lot of SEC schools are after him. You're looking at Jalil Skinner, who's now rated the #1 tight end. He was at FSU this entire week with Travis Hunter, holding hands, staying in the same. They were rooming together that whole week. They were doing photo shoots together. It was just these kind of guys. You want to either Jalil, you want to get him to commit because the big one for him is definitely between Alabama, also potentially Florida. They have a lot of good advertising they can use there after Kyle Pitts' big season. So you want to kind of you got to look at some kind of competitive. There's even there's a good amount of momentum that Florida State is on, but I'm still wondering if how long is it going to be until really Florida State has to play a game and some of these guys say screw it. I see what Norvell is doing with this vision. I keep hearing it. It sounds amazing, but how it looks on the field is going to be the biggest key, because you can get a lot of these guys, but then shoot, if it starts dwindling down and it gets bad during the season, then I think you lose a good amount because Florida State has the momentum. It's really going to end up coming to this first game because there's going to be a ton of, we're talking over 100 recruits at this game on a Sunday night, prime time, Labor Day weekend. There's going to be tons. It's the only game practically playing then. There's going to be so many top tier recruits that Florida State is going to have in attendance. It's going to be ridiculous. Got to look competitive. If it goes into the half and this game is already over, like we've kind of seen in the past, it could all crumble.
And if you don't think Notre Dame is going to use as an excuse to recruit on FSU's dime, they'll be sitting there right there, just like Logan said. If they're kicking our butt up and down the field, I guarantee you, Ryan Kelly and those assistants are going to be looking at the recruits saying, "Come to South Bend." So that's a free recruiting trip for those guys right there. But that's why there's that 3-game stretch of Wake Forest on the 18th of September, Louisville on the 25th, and Syracuse on October 2nd. That, to me, is the most important 3-game stretch. Because we all know that most likely, and before people label me a Florida State hater, Logan and I will be inside Luke Campbell on that Sunday night, chopping it up, rooting for the Noles. But I think, theoretically, we can say Florida State will more than likely lose to Notre Dame. Florida State will also more than likely beat Jacksonville State the following week. Florida State, on paper, should beat Wake Forest, should beat Louisville, should beat Syracuse. On paper, Florida State should be 4-1 heading into that North Carolina game. This is also a Florida State team that has played down to opponents last season, 2019, 2018, even you could argue 2017, played down to the level of their opponents. So while we think Florida State should win those 3 games, does Florida State choke and cover? That's going to be the question right there. Does Florida State go into North Carolina a 4-1 team looking like they're almost back? Or do they come in 3-2, 2-3, and you're thinking, like Logan said, here we go again?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone stop trying to go after our horse. Renegade is going to stay in Tallahassee. He loves it there. All right, Ronan, go have another pint. Ocala Kane, you're not getting. Worry about how bad you're going to lose to Alabama. You don't get our horse.
I will correct something that I said about Renegade. I didn't give Renegade near enough respect. So on this channel, on this particular specific Florida State, the Voice of College Football channel, if there would be someone who would get the untouchable status, I guess it would be Renegade here. Yes, I will correct myself on that. Yes, Renegade gets lofty status here at the Voice of College Football FSU. Absolutely.
He is the Tony Montana of the MarkRogersTV, the Voice of College Football FSU chair. I saw Scarface today, so that's why.
Okay. Ronan, you're amazing. Thank you so much for that. Ronan is sub to all the channels. That's amazing. Thank you, Ronan. And for anybody out there, here's the deal. I got 22 channels. Sub to whomever you like, of course. But if you see a channel close to 1,000, push me over. Push us over 1,000. And then if you want to unsub, like when we're 100 over, go ahead and do that. But you help us build the channel by getting us over the 1,000 mark. So right now it's Nebraska and Oregon are in that 950 to 980 range. Okay, want to clarify something here. Georgia Ron, appreciate you being here. Yeah, I understand 3-6 doesn't move me, Mark. I totally get it. I agree with you. All that matters in the end, wins and losses. But the point I'm making is Mike Norvell's in his second season. This is his first full recruiting cycle. Really the second one he has ownership of. Like if he was 5 years into this, if he was Charlie Strong, still bringing in the 7th best class in the nation, the 4th best class in the nation, and going 5-7, 7-5, then you say, you know what? We've seen it year after year. You bringing in these great recruiting classes, and you're not producing on the field means nothing to me. But we just haven't seen it out of Norvell. He doesn't have the time in yet. So yes, the wins and losses ultimately, absolutely, Georgia Ron. I don't want to misconstrue or have you misconstrue what I'm stating here. The wins and losses mean everything. That's why we are here to see these teams, Florida State on this channel, win the games, win championships. Yes.
Logan has used the pandemic excuse before in defending his BFF, his bestie, Mike Norvell, and it's fine. I get it. I understand where he's coming from. And I do think that there has to be a certain amount of I don't want to say a pass. I don't think Mike Norvell gets a pass for last season because everyone went through it and it seemed to do just fine for a lot of these other schools. That being said, that's why this year is so important. If Florida State is a 7-5 team, you can see, like Logan talked about, you see that improvement. If Florida State is limping to a 6-6 finish or has a losing season for the 4th straight season, then we're in trouble. How is this hat ridiculous? It's a Nike. It's a Nike. It was $9.99 at the Nike outlet in Florida City down in South Miami-Dade.
I think it's a nice hat. He's been in here trolling the whole time.
I'm not a hat guy, so I'll stay out of this one.
Bobby, I would have a Noel game day hat, but somebody still hasn't had one for the last 3 years. So
that is true. That is true. I need to be reminded.
Yeah, you do.
Logan, I can do you even better than that. And, of course, I want Jason to get his hat because he'll wear the hat. What I will do with the hat is the hat will be prominently displayed on the Voice of College Football set. You'll get free advertising there.
You think I'm going to wear that hat?
We'll get it on the set. Pardon me?
You think I'm going to wear that hat?
You're going to wear the Noel Game Day hat?
No, I want the wristband. I don't want that hat.
Okay, you want the wristband.
Rude.
Whatever it is. Whatever we're getting.
But
I'll display it.
You know what I really do want, though, more than anything? You know, we're doing my birthday will be on one of these come September 1st. Oh, first of all, Lil Young, thank you for your $4.99. 6-6 because Francois got hurt. Context isn't key. Oh, absolutely. But do you really think Florida State would have been a 10-2 team with DeAndre Francois quarterback that season? No. I'm sorry. That season was the beginning of the end. And I'm sorry. We were lucky to be a 10-3 team the year before. We've talked about this.
Well, I want to hear this again. I just want to make sure I'm hearing this right. What would they have done in 2017 with a healthy DeAndre Francois?
That's his argument is that the reason we were 6-6 is because Francois got hurt.
Well, it had a lot to do with it.
I think it had a lot to do with it, but I don't think Florida State was a 10-2 competing for an ACC title team. I think you could see we've talked about this before. Starting 2015, you saw that downhill slide.
Sure.
It amplified the downhill turn, absolutely, but things were starting to go down that hill. I think Florida State, with Francois, was an 8-win team at best.
I don't know about it best. They went 6-6 without him.
But
he was a top 10 to 15 quarterback in the nation the year before.
MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. We're not letting Khalil Young, thank you for your $4.99 donation, deter us from our pattern here. There's something we do every single week at the halfway point.
You're ruining a good conversation, though. You're ruining
exactly.
We were having this going here.
I should care more about the likes than you, Jason. I want to keep this conversation. I'm not saying that there is no question they would have went 10-2 or better with Francois. I'm just saying this was a team that did what they did between 2013 and 2016. And yes, you could say that they had some narrow misses and all of that, but still, they won the games that they won. They were a top 10 team the year before. They come out against Alabama. I don't care what the final score was. If you watched the game, you know that they were competitive with Alabama, who went on to win the national championship. We're talking about the best team in college football. It was a competitive game. I'm not saying it's down to the wire competitive.
Alabama should not have been in the playoff that year. But moving on, going back to your point.
They won the national championship.
They shouldn't have been in the playoff. They didn't even win.
And even though Florida State had to play with a completely inexperienced quarterback who was not physically prepared for that role, and maybe you can fault Jimbo Fisher and the coaching staff for not having a capable backup, but he played a decent season. Most of their losses were razor close. They were close.
I fault Jimbo Fisher for everything.
Most of them.
We've talked about this. I fault Jimbo Fisher for everything. I said DeAndre Francois, they're an 8-win team. I think they beat NC State that season. I think I want to say in my heart, I think they beat Miami. If you don't have a few mistakes that I think Blackman made against Miami. So I think they win 8 games that season. But I think they ended up losing. There's no way they don't lose to Clemson.
That's fair. I'm not saying you're ridiculous in that statement. I'm just saying we don't know.
Boston College was a 32-point loss.
Yeah, I'm saying other than that, they were right there in every game, aside from Alabama. Okay, Khalil, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it.
As I was saying before, Khalil gave us nearly $5. Logan, my birthday is on one of these shows. The first night of Yom Kippur is on one of these shows. I need a gift from you. And since I'm never getting an armband from you or a hat, I need you to tell us why they should hit Mark Rogers TV, the voice of football's like button.
They should smack that like button because we've got 80 people here. We almost hit 75 likes last time. And I feel like there could be a potential that we could do it again. But at least if we get to 50, that would be nice. We're at 37 and keep growing, but it helps grow the channel a little bit more. We're doing these weekly, everyday recruiting arguments. We're going over some crazy takes. We're giving you some historical facts too while going through all of this every week. Been doing it for 110 weeks straight, but I definitely appreciate if you just hit the like button. It's free, doesn't cost anything. It just helps the channel grow. More FSU fans can jump in here while we're talking Florida State football. There's nothing better than talking Florida State football.
This guy has a patent. This guy has a patent now. You should honor that patent by hitting the like button.
That's right. Just smack it. It won't hurt you. I know people are thinking about it. Just smack it. It won't do it. It won't hurt you.
Gently press it. You don't want to smack it completely.
Joseph, we're talking Florida State here, so I'm not going to dive into your comment about Wisconsin playing in the Slow 10. This is what I'm going to ask you to do, Joseph.
There we go.
Call me in a call-in show. Call me up. We'll talk about what Wisconsin's done against maybe teams from the ACC, for example.
Joseph, don't do it. Don't do it, Joseph. Do not do it. Save yourself.
Here's my question for both of you.
Yes.
As let's say, I would think a fair assessment, because of all these recruiting visits going on through the month of June into July, that to wait another 3 to 4 weeks as guys, weed things out, try to figure out, what they've just experienced and who they're going to commit to. Let's say by early to mid-August, what would be signal success for you in regards to, and I know you guys are pointing toward the season and saying, hey, we got to play good football to hold on to these commits. But at least at that stage, what's going to mark success for you that it was a successful month of visits?
For the summer, you're set for what's
going to make you feel good about what Norvell and the coaching staff accomplished in recruiting this summer?
I think right now, Florida State, there's a few guys that have some dates set up in early July and some in the late June after they're going on a lot of visits right now that it's finally open. COVID-19 is still out there, but the NCAA has finally allowed recruits to come visit. And so I think after a few of these guys make their visits, there's going to be a lot of decisions coming soon. But I think for a few guys, definitely, in my opinion, I'm looking a lot at Jalil Skinner. He was, from what we heard, really enjoyed the visit there. He was with Travis Hunter. I mean, arguably the best player in the 2022 class. And, Florida State would love to bring in a guy like him. He was just, like I mentioned earlier, he's now rated the #1 tight end in the country in his class. Florida State has been heavily all over him. That's a guy that I think would like to make a decision before the fall starts, if I'm correct. I might be wrong on that, but I do believe he wants to make it before the season starts. But I think before the season starts, by the end of July, I would say, before even fall camp begins, I'd say at least two to three commits that you've been targeting heavily. I don't think Florida State's heavily in the mix right now, but it's good to see. But Florida State is going to have Richard Young come and visit, the #1 running back in the 2023 class. He'll be visiting on June 19th, that we've heard today. So that's a big one there. And, Mike Norvell can really advertise and recruit heavily in the running back unit. He's put out some successful guys into the NFL. He can tell that to Richard Young and kind of work that kind of relationship as much as he can. That's one thing that he can definitely use to his advantage. But there's still other targets that Florida State has got to get after. I mean, Julian Armello was also here. He was kind of a surprise guy that arrived at the Midnight Madness, and from what we heard and different things and other interviews and little nuggets here and there, he loved it. He didn't think he was kind of shocked about how much he enjoyed it there. I still think he's an SEC lean, but having him actually be able to be there on campus, inside the Moore, be around the football program for that amount of time is gigantic for FSU and a legacy recruit that you need. That's a guy that is a necessity, just like a Marvin Shade Jones Jr., which we've mentioned multiple times the last couple of weeks. So I think 2 to 3 guys that you've been targeting, you gotta try to land before the season starts.
I'm going to pull a Logan who refuses to make predictions on the upcoming season as far as wins and losses. I'm not going to make any recruiting predictions. I'm not going to get the overly hyped about a 17-year-old, 18-year-old who hasn't made his decision yet. Let them make their decision in December. We'll have that special call-in show. We'll have that special show that Wednesday after signing day right here with MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Let's wait till then.
Good segue here, though, because talking about arguably the best player in the nation, as Logan just pointed out, 21 is asking Logan, because I know you're amped to see this guy in the field in garnet and gold. Man, can you see him playing both sides of the football?
The crazy thing is, yes, I can see it. I think it's just hard to fathom him. You just saying, all right, you're stuck here at DB, or you're stuck here at wide receiver. That kind of talent you don't find anywhere else. And like our generation, we just don't see that kind of stuff happen. I don't think he's going to play full snaps on it during a game. But if there's situations where Florida State needs that talent at wide receiver, you need that one drive to add an extra scary threat there to a guy that can take on 2 defenders, and that opens up space on the right side of the field. For A.J. Duffy, whoever the future quarterback will be in the next couple of years, you got to put him out there wide receiver. So I don't see them restricting him on anywhere. I think it'll be more of, health-wise and, how conditioned he is and if he's fine to be that way. But, that kind of guy you just can't keep off the field. I think primarily they'd like to have him at DB, but, the things that we watch and see, he does it on 7-7s and then he puts on pads, and it's just not even – it's even more – it's like less fair, which doesn't even make sense. But that guy right there, you've got to use more. You've got to use him on both sides of the field.
Bobby Miller, solid use of the word rubbish. I like it.
What?
I thought I had a poker face all the time.
Bobby has no idea what the hell he's talking about, but I like the solid vocabulary. Use the word rubbish. I like it.
Bobby's just here to just give props.
Bobby is
Jason will always give kudos to grammar. You could make a good point, but if you don't articulate it correctly, then Jason will be all over you.
It's called high school. We all graduated from it, so you should know the proper use of the word there. The other words that are just common sense. I'm sorry. It's not that hard.
I agree. I'm with you. I'm a English
It's
guy.
hard for Logan because he never went to class sober, but it's fine for the rest
That's
of
right. Nor sober, or I haven't graduated yet either, so I'm still working. That's my excuse.
Logan, are you graduating this semester?
I'm graduating and figured out I'm staying for another football season. I don't have the requirement classes during the summer. They're just not available. I'm taking a full load actually this summer so I can have a nice, relaxed fall and enjoy my last little time because who knows, this might be it for me in Tallahassee.
That's a lot.
I don't know. I think I don't want to live. I've always not wanted to kind of live here my whole life. I've wanted to go to the West Coast and do tech business stuff over there. I don't know. I will always love Tallahassee though.
They have planes that can fly back from San Francisco.
We'll fly back here for games. It won't be bad, watching games at 5 o'clock, and then y'all are over here at 8 o'clock, and then whenever, it's midnight, 12:30, and I'm enjoying a little 9 p.m. beverage at the bar.
Anyone want to take bets on that? I bet Logan's back for his first game in the fall. I bet you when Florida State plays this game, the first game of the 2022 season, Logan's back.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. In the fall, I'm taking classes, so I'll be here without a doubt. But
no, next fall.
Oh, next fall, yeah. Next fall, we'll see. This house, it's been a lot going on. All these natty ice boxes I have to take down. That's going to take at least 6 months to take those down.
That's true.
That is going to take a ton.
Mark, can I answer?
Absolutely. That's why.
Here we go.
All right. Well, shout out to Baby Shark here, 21. I've never once said I hated Mike Norvell. In fact, I believe for those of you who paid attention, I actually interviewed the man. I have nothing personal against Mike Norvell. The fact of the matter is that he is not somebody you fire your coach and then you wait 5 weeks to hire. He also led us to our worst season since 1975. That's not a hate. Those are both factual statements. So I do not hate him. Now, if he goes and has a losing season this season and becomes the second coach in a row, I like this, FSU Ghostbuster. I like that. If he becomes the second FSU coach in a row to go and have 2 straight losing seasons, then he deserves to be fired. I'm sorry. They're not going to because Logan's made it very clear we don't have the money to pay the buyout, so we're stuck with him, win or lose. That being said, my loyalty as a Florida State grad is for wanting Florida State to win. So I will stick behind Mike Norvell. I think we will be better, but you cannot hide from the fact that the worst season since 1975 occurred under Mike Norvell's watch. Now, Logan will sit there and use every excuse possible for his BFF. I'm just spitting facts. I keep it real. I made a commitment when I signed on for no money with MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football, to keep it real. We're going to talk about
if we put some money under the table, Mark, maybe he'll be pro Mike Norvell.
I'm not saying that can be bought, but I can be bought.
Might be setting other priorities first before they start heading toward Jason and trying to get him on board with Mike Norvell. The jury's out on Mike Norvell. I neither criticize him nor do I pump him up. I'm just basically saying he only coached 9 football games. And we didn't get a full season.
And we won 3 of them. 1975 was the last time we only had 3 wins in a season. That was the last time we only had less than 5 wins in a season. It was 1975. Logan and I weren't even thought of at that point.
It's my role on this show to put things in context. Every time you say something, I then have to put it into context.
Go.
All right. I've done it before. I'm not going to do it right now. Because what we're going to talk about right now is because even though we are looking forward, as we should be, with all the recruiting, 2022, 23, this 21 season coming up, everything's headed forward, looking to the future. Let's pay some homage to the past. And a conversation we wanted to have last week was concerning Florida State's Hall of Fame nominees. And to me, I'm going to let you go, Jason, because you've got so much more background on these guys. But I watched them all play multiple times, dozens of times throughout their careers. And to me, all 3 of these guys are slam dunk Hall of Famers, should be in first time. Marvin Jones Jr., Warrick Dunn, Peter Warrick. They're all-time great players.
The funny part is that at the station, even the Miami fans, the first thing they said was, I didn't know Peter Warrick wasn't in. I didn't know Warrick Dunn was in. I mean, these are guys who are arguably two of the better offensive players. What the hell is this Ghostbusters thing? Am I missing something in the group chat?
In the group chat.
These are two of the best offensive players Florida State's had. Not just in the last 25 years, the last 30 years, arguably in the program's history. I'm also going to have a personal loyalty towards Warrick Dunn. He's my favorite Noel of all time, both on the field, off the field. So my personal loyalty is there with him. Peter Warrick, I get why it's taken him so long. I think there's that hesitation because of the off-the-field issue, the Dillard's issue they had. It's the same reason I don't think Jameis Winston will ever have his jersey retired. I think there's too much off-the-field stuff to keep that from happening. So I think that's what's kept Peter Warrick from doing it. To me, the one that I think is a surefire slam dunk is Marvin Jones. I think Marvin Jones is arguably the greatest college football linebacker ever. Butkus Award winner, top 5 draft pick in the NFL. I think the fact that he hasn't played college football since the 1992 season. The fact that he's not in is the one that shocks me the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marvin Shade Tree Jones. What, over 120 tackles a year? If I'm correct? Something like that. I saw that on Twitter today. But yeah, Marvin Shade Tree Jones. I didn't necessarily get to watch him play in person, all that kind of stuff. But man, the legacy that he's left in Tallahassee and FSU. I mean, when you think about the Miami rivalry, I think instantly about Marvin Shade Tree Jones. It's just like a name here that I think everybody knows, no matter kind of how young you are. You know about Big Dog there in the middle. That's just going to absolutely obliterate you. So I agree that he is a surefire one. The guy that I'd paid money to see is P-Dub. I wish I could have seen him play. I think I did when I was really, really young, but obviously I had no idea what the hell was going on. But incredible. What, I was 2 years old. Yeah.
I was going to say, you were young.
I don't think I was in New Orleans. I think.
No.
Maybe I was. No.
No, a 2-year-old does not go to New Orleans for football.
I wouldn't be shocked if I was brought there to see that 1999 run. I wouldn't be shocked.
I was there and I did not see you there.
You didn't see me there?
What the hell is a 2-year-old doing in New Orleans?
You didn't see my NG hat and my wristband? Damn it. And then Warrick Dunn, incredibly, not even just for on the field, but the things off the field is such an incredible achievement that it's every day that he works on, but the things that he does off the field, just an overall, has represented Florida State in a fantastic fashion. Has represented also NFL teams too in the same way, but one of, if not the best, one of the best running backs ever to come through FSU. You've got to. He most certainly is deserving of it. So we'll see with these 3 guys if it's their time nominees.
Now, judging by and Mark, for those of you who pay attention to Mark Rogers, West College Football, he's made it clear what his thoughts are on the qualifications to be in the Hall of Fame. And Mark, I believe, is it unanimous or is it consensus?
In terms of these 3.
That you have to be – no, I'm saying that you have to – the qualifications to be in the Hall of Fame. That you have to be a consensus All-American?
Consensus. You have to have been a first-team All-American as named by one of the major sites. I've not seen the list of who they consider to be a credible source for an All-American team, but you have to be a first-team All-American somewhere.
Because the consensus All-Americans on the 2013 Florida State team were Jameis Winston, LaMarcus Joyner, Brian Stork. So I will ask you, Logan, which one of those 3 do you think has the best chance of making the Hall of Fame?
Out of the 3 we just talked about, right?
Those 3 right there. Brian Stork, LaMarcus Joyner, Jameis Winston. The answer is LaMarcus Joyner, right? No, you say Jameis. Well, go ahead. Why Jameis?
Jameis, I mean, if you're taking away the off-the-field stuff, a lot of that stuff was so over-exaggerated, and now we get to find out, as a kind of trend is going on, a lot of things are put on to blame to get some Bula. And we learned just a couple of years ago, it was confirmed that a lot of that stuff was false, and Jameis went back to sue that person for the accusations that were handed to him. But there's some idiotic things that he did that stood up on a table and yelled. But I mean, come on. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. And there was a trend going on Vine, and it's just what was going on. But anyways, Jameis Winston had an incredible career at FSU. The only game he lost was in a playoff game. He wrecked over the ACC as a redshirt freshman. It wasn't even funny the amount of records that he broke. One of the youngest Heisman winners, won a national championship on his birthday, drove an incredible drive down the field. I mean, that's a guy that brought you a national championship. I know there was tons of talent around him. We know that, but Jameis Winston was a big-time leader, not only on how he played, but he was in that locker room and led that whole team. He led guys that were veterans. He led guys that were seniors. I mean, so many players were looking to him for advice on things, or looking to him to get that energy. LaMarcus Joyner and Brian Stork are legends there for that team, but the head guy, I think he's levels ahead of those two.
I get where you're coming from. I think that the problem with Jameis is going to be off the field stuff. And while we know what has happened later as more stuff has come out about it, that being said, that's always going to stick with him. It's the reason he probably will not get his jersey number retired from Florida State. It's the reason why a lot of things won't come his way that a lot of other Heisman winners got. To me, it's LaMarcus Joyner. I think you're talking about a guy who was a 3-time All-ACC, 2-time first-team All-ACC, was a consensus All-American in his senior season. I mean, LaMarcus Joyner was the size of MarkRogersTV, the Western College Football, and played like Marvin Jones. He played like your favorite player of all time, Timmy Jernigan. I mean, he was just an absolute beast. And I feel like he's probably has the best chance.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm interested to see whenever Jameis Winston's jersey gets hung up too inside Doak Campbell Stadium, because the last one was P-Dubs, if I'm correct.
I
hope that's not the case. There's a lot of different leadership now in admin. As we all know, tons of things have changed. And we're looking at a new president too, but coming in, a lot of things are changing too. So we'll be interested to see in the direction that goes. But in my opinion, Jameis Winston's name has got to be inside Doak Campbell Stadium,
Rename the name of the stadium.
Baker Mayfield is like, what, is that? They don't have a statue right there in College Station for him and the amount of things that he did.
Jameis Winston Stadium at Bobby Bowden Field.
That's what I'm starting to think here. If that isn't the case, why haven't we started thinking about that? You brought on a good thing there. Get that in a clip right there, Mark, and make sure we get a big old thumbnail for Facebook and do dash quoted by Jason Parker, NBC6.
I've had some bad ideas, but that one might not be as bad as some of the other ones.
Okay. I say you give it a shot. I think you should.
Okay, we can cause up, drum up some controversy there. We'll clip that one off, send it out there, get Jason to retweet that, get all sorts of people to retweet that, get it out there.
Guys, seriously.
I'm not going to be able to outdo what Logan did to you whenever that was last year.
That's because Logan's a jerk. That's what he was.
That was good. That brought in a lot of new people came into that next week.
Yes.
It brought
That's
in
all I'm looking for, Jason. Whatever it takes.
If the death threats in my DM are what get us page views, guys, then you know what? Screw it.
It's a small price to pay, Jason, for the health of the channel, for the show. We all have to make our sacrifices.
We've gone morbid here, guys. We've really gone morbid here. I'm not gonna lie.
We got to hit that like button too. We got 3 more minutes. If we can get this thing to 75 likes. I always say that I'll shotgun a beer, but I do have a ton of beers left over from the weekend where now I can do that, but they're in the car. But like I always say, 75 likes, we shotgun a beer to celebrate. That's the most incredible thing that you can get here on YouTube. I mean, it doesn't get any more entertaining. I'm sure there's no one else on YouTube shotgunning beers, right? That was sarcastic, by the way, Jason, making sure you know.
No. It was more the fact that I don't think Mark and I agreed to shotgun a beer when we got to 75 likes, but
I did that.
Yeah,
I've had that. I keep on. You know that I was going to drink if we ever hit 75, but we just haven't been able to do that yet.
So congratulations, Shark Boy. We have 2 5-star players committed, so they haven't signed yet. Got it. I think Travis Hunter signs. I do. But after that, it's going to depend. And anyone who doesn't believe, thank you, Bobby Miller. He's a very good guy, very nice guy. I think we will go 7-5 this season. I think we will be a better team. But the question's going to be: is that the right direction? Is that are we going to be a much better team?
I've never heard of this Bobby guy, but he is the complete opposite of what we were saying. He is just trolling out of trolls.
Bobby just showed up today.
I know, right?
Just showed up out of nowhere and started swinging.
Hopefully he puts stuff in your DMs. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I'm sure he'll reach me. Bobby Miller, though, sounds like such a fake name, though. This kind of looks like it was just made 20 minutes ago. So we're at 68 likes, man. We're at 68 likes.
Guys, really?
It should be repetitive that I'm drinking a beer. It should be every week. I'm like, even at some point, I should shotgun too. We should get 150 likes by football season.
Folks, Logan really just wants a beer, so if we could just hit a like button just so.
Can't you see the drool? Like I'm drooling right now.
Seriously.
He's going to drink one anyway, but he wants an excuse to drink one.
Yeah, drink one quickly so then I can just have one to sip on. I can already get a buzz growing, you know. And plus the softball game's coming up here right now in about 45 seconds.
Okay. If you guys noticed, I enhanced the show production quality, and you should appreciate this, especially Jason being a producer, of course, on the digital side there at NBC6, by adding the Warrick Dunn and the Peter Warrick statistics there.
I did see that. That was fancy.
It's almost like you worked at ESPN at some point. It's almost like that.
Not as a graphics operator, though.
Close. You got it. You got it good. We appreciate the hard work right there.
Yes.
Shout out to William right here, Mark. It's at the bottom there. That right there is someone that we want to always praise. William, right there. Look at that. That kind of effort right there. Shout out to William.
That's effort.
Have we hit our 75 likes yet for Logan?
71. I don't think it's already 7 o'clock though, so we didn't hit it. Once again, that's 2 weeks in a row. We're getting there, but it's always so close.
Folks, next week, get to 75 likes just so Logan can have an excuse to drink.
We topped out at, I believe, 91 online. Nice job, everyone. We would love to push past 100, of course, well past 100 as we get toward August camp. People should be really excited, getting pumped up, and we should be doing 150 to 250. Let's get the word out there. Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Eastern.
Khalil Young, thank you for the $9.99 donation. We are going to do this next week. One must win, one we can't lose, one team we haven't played. You'd like to see us playing a bowl game. Right there. Khalil Young. Mark will write this down. We will talk about this next week.
Yes.
We promise.
Yeah. Khalil, I will copy that to our DM.
Stay tuned.
So I've got that. Yes. Thank you, Khalil. Appreciate that super chat contribution. Appreciate that. And everybody else, again, be back here next Wednesday at 6 Eastern. Bring somebody with you. Bring some Florida State fans, college football fans. These guys especially love more Miami fans to come in. So bring the Miami fans in here as well.
And like grown men, like grown, educated adult men, Logan and I are going to go watch women's college softball now. So stay tuned.
We are.
I will be watching whatever Mom wants to watch because we've got some spaghetti and chocolate chip cookies that were made especially for me. So
that sounds
gotta please Mom.
Both of you suck.
I'm in town to visit Mom. Pardon me?
That sounds good.
Both of you suck right now. You're eating spaghetti and cookies. This one's shotgunning a beer to watch softball. I'm having a salad.
Wow, that's your fault.
I'm doing.
I have to go though because I have to go meet to watch this game, so I have to leave.
Okay,
bye.
Get to it. Appreciate it, Logan. Jason, you guys are the best.
Be good.
See you next week.
Deuces, y'all.